thought I would broach the subject of abortion because that's been discussed a lot. When you guys were talking about maternal health issues, did you guys discuss abortion? And if so, what conclusions did you draw?
Oh yes, we did discuss abortion. We believe that it's been turned a blind eye upon. We tend to ignore it, but yet it is happening and it is taking away so many lives of women. So what we came up with is education. I strongly believe in education, so is everyone, 21 girls, we all believe in education. We believe that if we educate more especially there's this course called Life Orientation. It has a bit of sex education, but it's not broad. So I believe that if we educate more about pregnancy, if we educate more about sex, sexuality from an early age, then people will not get pregnant easily because they will know the precautions. They will know that if I am sexually active, then I have to take contraceptives, and then they won't necessarily be pregnant, unwanted pregnancy, and then abortion will be limited. But if we don't talk about abortion, if we just give it a blind eye, if we just take it underneath the table, then what's going to happen to the young generation that's coming up? What's going to happen to their future? What's going to happen to who they are if they just fall pregnant and their future is ruined like that? Are we going to solve poverty? Are we going to rescue South Africa? Are we going to rescue America? I believe in education. We should educate. That's how we're going to solve abortion, yes, because it has a lot. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Jeremiah for Google. This is a question for Via. So as the host country, Canada, I wanted to know, out of all the recommendations that you came up with, what would be the top 2 or 3 that you would recommend to Stephen Harper to table at the G20 this week?
Thanks for your question. I think that the document as a whole is extremely important because what we've noticed during our discussions and during all of the information that we've received is how interconnected everything is. And so how important it is to have education so that healthcare can be improved and that health information and awareness is improved and that women have the economic potential and capabilities because they've been empowered through education and through vocational training and things like that. So it's really important to look at everything, and as we said at the beginning, we hope that every G20 leader and country, and expanding beyond that, all of the change makers in every country will be able to look at the document as a whole and look at how everything's interconnected and take some of the recommendations that we've made. And I think there's a couple of themes that run through the document, such as ensuring safe spaces, so safe spaces at schools, safe spaces in communities, to allow access to education, to allow access to healthcare, to break down stereotypes and discrimination. And so I think there's themes like that, empowering women to refuse sexual encounters if they don't want them, things like that. So there are definitely themes that go throughout the document that I think tie all the recommendations together and that need to be looked at as a whole.
Are there any other questions? Oh, we've got one over here.
My name is Eleanor Adam, and I'm a volunteer with the program. I heard something mentioned about media and that you wanted to see the media portray women differently. Did you come up with some strategies that you'd like to recommend to the media?
I'll give an example for that. In India, most of the soap opera shows, most of the serials that we have on television, like the most famous serials, they portray women to be housewives. And they're showing this picture of women plotting together, just sitting in houses, all plotting against each other. Oh, she's done this, she hasn't done the housework properly. So all of that, I mean, I understand that women have those tendencies, but that's not something that needs to be portrayed. That's not us, right? And the fact that we're sitting here, and I mean that we're 21 delegates from all over the world, and we're sitting here and we're respecting each other, and there are no such feelings or anything which women are generally portrayed to be. I mean, that's something that the media really needs to come up and portray properly, because especially in India, we're not housewives. I mean, even if we are, we don't plot against everyone. I mentioned in one of the workshops as well, that while I was coming here, one of my friends from India, he said that, oh, you're going for the summit. And I actually heard of this quotation that one of the US presidents said, which was that if the women rule the world, then there will be no wars. There'll just be a group of jealous countries not talking to each other. So the fact that we are sitting here and that's not happening proves women power and the girl effect that we were talking about.
Have the second row.
Hi, my name's Laura Modesto, and my question is for the Canadian delegate. I was wondering, what can other young girls and women do to get involved and stay active around these issues in their own communities?
That's a fantastic question, thanks. I mean, there's a couple different ways through the Girls 20 Summit. So online, girlsandwomen.com, there's the conversation, there's what's your number, all of that. So to really be part of the global conversation. So what we've introduced here are some suggestions, some thoughts that we've had, but things that every girl can think about and can work on. And what's most important that we've seen throughout the past couple of days is empowerment of women, of breaking the silence and having a voice. And so if every girl finds it in herself to speak up and to stand up for herself and for her friends and to work in her community and just do what she can do, and if it's not, it doesn't have to be huge and news breaking, but just to stand up and to say what she thinks and to have her power to speak and to realize her potential, then that's what every woman and girl can do, and to work together in communities, because of course there are a lot of challenges that so many women face in their communities, and one woman acting alone isn't as powerful as the community of women working together. So really reaching out and finding those bonds and working together, not just in your community locally, but around the globe. And we've started making connections here today, and I think that's really important, and so we all just need to speak up